Hello and welcome to Full of Food. If you love pizza, you're going to want to make this super easy air fryer version. I use my new Ninja FlexDrawer, but you can use any air fryer, just adjust the size of your pizza dough to fit. If you don't already know, the Ninja FlexDrawer has a dough-proof function, which I tested for the first time during this recipe. This dough will also rise at room temperature. So on to the ingredients. So like I said, I'm going to use my FlexDrawer for this, but you could use any air fryer. I've got some plain flour, some sugar, some salt, some easy bake yeast, it's a 7-gram sachet, that one, and some olive oil, and then just some lukewarm water, so that's to make your dough. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a nice mozzarella, red onion and pepperoni topping with a little bit of fresh basil scattered on at the end. So on to the method. This dough is so easy for making pizza. I love to use a really big round bowl, and all you do is you pop your flour in. I've got 400 grams there, and we're just going to sprinkle on a teaspoon of sugar. That's going to help the yeast activate. A teaspoon of salt, and then pop our sachet of yeast on, sprinkle it all over and just give that a good mix in. You want to make sure that that yeast, sugar and salt is distributed through that flour. And then we're going to make a nice little well in the middle, and we're going to pop in our olive oil. So we're just doing 2 tablespoons of olive oil there. And then the last thing we want to put in is some warm water. So it needs to be about 37 degrees. If you haven't got a thermometer, don't worry, but it needs to be warm to activate the yeast. So just pour that in. I leave a little bit in the end because I like to add a bit more in case I need it. And then just give that a good old mix together. So here we go, a little bit more water because my mixture is a bit dry. Remember, if it gets too wet, you can just add more flour. Too dry, more of your water. So give that a lovely stir until it starts to come together and form what looks a little bit more like a dough. And then get your hand in there, roll it around that bowl. Using a big bowl is so much easier, I find, than doing it on a board because the mess is just contained in the bowl. And then you want to knead this for about 1 minute. So just gently, see my dough's getting a bit sticky there, so add a bit more flour. Just gently knead this, and all you're doing is making sure that all of that yeast and sugar and salt is in contact with each other. So there we have it, a lovely ball of pizza dough. So here's my FlexDrawer. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of greaseproof paper, and I'm going to pop it in the bottom of the FlexDrawer, and I'm going to put my dough in. Now I'm using the proof function for 30 minutes. I did actually set this off before I started making my dough just to pre-warm. If you don't have that proof function, just pop it in a warm place for the same amount of time, half an hour. So look at that, pretty much doubled in size. Lovely dough there. I think if I did this one again, I'd maybe do it for a tiny bit less in the FlexDrawer. It did seem to work extremely well. So tip that dough out. And then what we want to do is just knock the air out a little bit. So we're just going to knead it a little bit. If it's sticky, pop your flour on. And there we have it. So I'm making it into sort of a log shape because I'm going to make a long pizza to fit in my FlexDrawer. But I would just remember, any air fryer you use, just use it for the size of the air fryer you've got. So I'm going to take out my crisper plates, and I'm actually going to use those to measure how big my dough is going to be. So just pop those over there for now. And I'm going to do mine in the bottom of the FlexDrawer. This was my first time doing it. I actually pretty much think I'd leave the crisper plates in next time. Didn't make a lot of difference, I don't think, but up to you. So let's get that dough, and we're going to roll it out. Now I made this quite thick, so it was a little bit doughy in the middle. If you like sort of a deep pan, that would be great, but this amount of dough, I reckon if you went for a more crispy base, would actually make 2 pizzas here, 2 big FlexDrawer pizzas for that 400 grams of flour. So you saw me measuring there, so look, just get those so I know that's roughly the right size, because that's going to be the bottom of my FlexDrawer. Then just grab a knife and roughly trim that. If you've got any excess dough, just pop it in the fridge in a bag, and then you can just grab it out, make a quick little pizza in the air fryer. It's great for the kids when they come home from school. So there we go, just pop that to one side. And there we have it, this lovely sort of square pizza. So we're going to pop it onto this greaseproof paper, and then we're going to get that into the air fryer. Now what I like to do is I like to get that dough base into the air fryer and then add all of my toppings on. And like I said, this was the first time I'd done this. I think if I did it again and I had such a thick base, I might just air fry the pizza base for a few minutes before I added the toppings, because I think that might help with that sort of soggy doughy middle you sometimes get with homemade pizzas. So it's just stretched a little bit there, just grab the ends off and then try not to drop it. Pop it into your air fryer. Okay, so this is the bit I said here where I'm going to add my toppings in there. Just makes it so much easier because you're not going to have everything slide off. So all I've got here is some jarred bolognaise sauce. I quite like the bolognaise one because it's got some herbs in. Some really finely sliced red onion. I just bought a ball of mozzarella and then just some slices of pepperoni. You could use anything here, ham, pepperoni, turkey. Nice bit of black pepper on top. And then we're going to pop this in and we're going to put it on air fry. So we're air frying 200 or 390 for about 8 minutes. You want to keep an eye on it towards the end and keep going until it's ready for you. So I like to go until the mozzarella's sort of gone golden and I've got a nice little bit of crisp on those pepperonis there. So look at that, looking beautiful. So leave it to cool down for a little bit and then take it out. I find this helps again with things slipping off. Tear up some fresh basil, pop that on the top, a nice crack of black pepper, and then I like to just do a little drizzle of olive oil just to finish it off. And there you have it, a beautiful and very easy air fryer pizza using the proof function on the FlexDrawer. But like I said, if you don't have a FlexDrawer, this dough will just rise at room temperature. Just put it into a warm place. Lovely, homemade, fresh pizza.